Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're going to be breaking down the very last trailer for It, Welcome to Derry, which will be coming out October 26th on HBO Max. I already done a few videos talking about a lot of this stuff. So really, I'm just going to be breaking down this trailer of the stuff I learned myself that's brand new. That's what I want to talk about because there are some stuff in this trailer we've seen already. So I'm not going to talk about that stuff again. Again, I've done videos, so you want to check those out. But let's start with this trailer. It opens up on seeing the town, but I talk about this water tower. This is the kids' clubhouse. And as you see later on in the trailer, they like discover it. They're playing. They're having a great time. But that is like the main clubhouse for the kids because in every movie for It, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, they got their own little clubhouse.
He used to say that shit. He did that little dance.
The next thing we notice is we see Leroy Hamlin, the grandfather of Mike from the character in Chapter 1, Chapter 2. He arrives on this military base. So we know there's an army base that is also a joint base for Air Force soldiers. So you got a mix of Air Force and Army. It happens all the time around the military bases. But this is the one that really got me going. Is showing Nebel's house. So the house on Nebel Street, the one we saw in Chapter 1, is where Eddie, like drops his pill.
Do you think this will help me, Eddie?
But this is also where Pennywise, this is the main point of the sewage because the well house, this is the location of the well house that Ben talks about. This is the starting point of the sewage. This is how you get to Pennywise's lair, is through this house right here. So the army we see here are going in after, which tells me that they're onto something. They caught wind of something. I'm not sure what, but they figured out that this is the spot. And you can see the soldiers are coming into the house, SWAT, guns blazing. They're literally coming in like Jason Goes to Hell style. And we see here that they're looking down the well. We've already seen that in Chapter 1. And here again, we see the soldiers. They're in the tunnel, water deep. So they're actually like down there next to Pennywise's lair. And what we see come out is this guy. And at first, I had to really think about what this was. But if you see the hat and the finger pointing, that's definitely Uncle Sam. I want you. 100%. It makes sense why the Army people, Air Force people would be on edge when it comes to the government. We get to see the town. We get to see more of the fog, that mist, that Stephen King crossover. I cannot wait to see. But this definitely has something to do with the mist. There's no way this is going to be a town with the fog and you're not going to have anything to do with the mist, even though, it does not make sense. This has to be the Mist crossover. So here you see this child with no head and a lot of blood. I think this has to do with that one scene where all those girls and those kids, they're in the deadlights. And you see them starting to float up because that is the same location as a basketball court, old school basketball court. And here you have a kid with no head on a basketball court. I'm pretty sure all those kids get slaughtered. So up here we see this tent. We see a hand sticking out. And it turns out to most likely be Pennywise, but that is up there on the clubhouse. You can see in the corner the little hammock. You can see that. Plus you see in a lot of the trailers and other pictures, clearly they're in the clubhouse and Pennywise has found it. I think Dick Halloran is going to experience what Beverly did in Chapter 1 where she's down there and he pops out. I think something like that is definitely going to happen. Here we see the Pennywise doing that little creep, that little walk. The reason why I love it is that fog, is that mist, and I'm not quite sure who that kid is on the ground, but Pennywise is definitely doing like what he did with Eddie when Eddie broke his arm. He comes to him really slowly. It's really like that. This person that's full of blood, I have no idea who this character is. I cannot figure this one out. It's still stumping me. And next we see Pennywise next to a burning down building, which most likely will be the black spot. So this is, I don't know when they're gonna burn it down. I don't see that happening soon. So this might be near the end of season 1. Here we see some lady. I don't know who it is, but she's with her son. You see in the right corner, some kid is definitely pretty sad about it. Looks like they're a mental patient because the person on the left kind of looks like a nurse type. But I'm not sure who that is. I can't really tell. So this is one of those things I still not sure what's going on. So these men here, all wearing the mask. I think the fact that the black spot was burned down by a white cult in the book, most likely is going to be the same with this. You already see that tension with the white people against the black people. These are all white people wearing a mask. I can see this being the final confrontation, you know, with the black spot. Because at first I was like, man, what is going on? But it took me a minute. I'm like, okay, that's what it is. Next is this creature, which I have no idea. No idea, but it is nasty, it's gross, and like, ew, it's like spaghetti sauce all over his face. I gotta move on after that. So this one is really cool. It's like a kid running in the... This is definitely the 1908 flashback. Because remember, they're doing 3 seasons, all 27 years apart. 1962, 1935, and 1908. So this is definitely going to be the 1908 flashback, but it's like a kid getting chased by some naked person. Some creepy old man. Like I would be running to if that thing ran at me. That's kind of like that 28 days later zombie shit. And one of the last images, we get really close above Pennywise, and like we already got everything you can see from chapter 1, chapter 2. So like, what else can you kind of tweak? He doesn't really add on to it, but by looking at it, the only thing I could say is his hair is a hell of a lot more orangey color, but besides that, it's really the same. And then it ends with him with those yellow eyes I talked about. And here is a picture of the black spot. That is actually what the location is going to be. So we're actually getting the first look at the black spot right here in this trailer, which is nice. And that is it, everybody. That's all I got for this final trailer. Again, I've already went through a lot of the other trailers in my other video. That's why I'm just kind of nitpicking at the stuff that I really don't know or is brand new. And that is what you got for this. So until the next episode, guys, hope you have a good day.